I'm only saying that because this is a mid-range phone with high-end parts, components, features, and functionality. That's why I'm saying this is potentially the flagship killer of 2025. Solid mind here, and today we're looking at the Oppo Find X8 Pro. Let's find out, should you buy it in 2025? I am a OnePlus user. I've been using it for over 5 years, and Oppo is in the same family group. So a lot of the features, for example, the Hasselblad element, is also found in OnePlus. So let's find out, should you buy this in 2025?
And this here Oppo Find X8 Pro is the Billy Big Bollocks of the pair, boasting a whopping great gorgeous OLED display, MediaTek Dimensity 9400 smarts, a ruddy huge battery, and a quad 50 meg camera setup complete with an iPhone style shutter button, which hopefully doesn't massively suck.
I don't hate it. It looks good.
So what do you get in that there box, besides of course the Oppo Find X8 Pro? Well, we've got an 80 watt SuperVOOC adapter,
Nice.
tasty bit of USB cable action. And oh yes, Oppo has kindly bundled a condom case to keep your shiny new Find X8 Pro safe.
So the issue with clear cases is that they yellow. It does take a couple years to yellow, but when you own phones like the way I own phones, I don't throw phones away. Within 3-4 years, you will start seeing the difference, and it starts to get a little bit more yellow, a little bit more clouded. But still, you find with these slightly older phones that they, not older, but cheaper phones, compared to the flagships, that you get more. You get a charger, you get cables, you get cases, you get stickers, you get screen protectors, you get far more.
From harm. And besides the usual quick start guide, guff, etc., that's basically your lot. So here he is, the Oppo Find X8 Pro, all glorious 6.8 inches. So yes, it is a proper full-on hand filler despite the relatively skinny bezels surrounding that display, but pretty comfortable to clutch as well thanks to the curved corners, etc. And those edges are ever so slightly rounded as well. It's not a full-on flat iPhone style experience. And also that screen is just ever so slightly curved at all four.
I like that. I don't want it too curved, but so far it looks good.
Edges, just kind of lifting it up
I wish the edges were like matte black, but maybe I'm asking for too much.
above the frame. This reminds me of some of Xiaomi's more recent flagships. But yeah, certainly incredibly subtle as far as curved screens go, so no issues at all with responsiveness. Your palm doesn't intrude on that display. Now flip the Oppo Find X8 Pro around, and you won't have to squint too hard to spot the Cosmos Ring camera, because it is actually the size of the f***ing Cosmos. Absolutely dominates that arse end, but then that's...
Yeah, so the camera is big. It's just as big as the OnePlus ones, maybe a bit bigger, but so far, I'm enjoying the Find X8 Pro. It looks good.
Seems to be very much the style these days. But the main thing for me is that it doesn't actually poke too far out of the back. So it's not an absolute nightmare trying to squeeze this thing into your pants. And when it's safely ensconced in your pocket, it doesn't feel like you're being constantly and enthusiastically poked and prodded by a junior doctor. You got yourself a couple of colour options, space black or this here pearl white.
I would have gone for the space black version personally because, again, I think just like the black aesthetic makes better sense. I feel like white doesn't, over time, like degrade as good as black. Black degrades better because you will see less marks, less scratches, less fingerprints. So, but still, it's good. It's good.
Right. And this actually sports a multi-layered design that does indeed have a pearl-esque kind of finish. If you peer really hard and the light catches it just so, you'll notice these kind of striations across the surface. And apparently every Oppo Find X8 Pro is unique because that finish is just slightly different. And I was very happy to see that Oppo has slapped on the old alert slider that we know and love from those OnePlus phones. So you can swiftly and merrily skip between full-on ring mode. You've got the vibrate setting in the middle, and then up at the very top, silent, bugger off, leave me alone. As for the water and dust resistance, well, the Oppo Find X8 Pro is IP69 rated, not just IP68 like most other flagships. So not only can it be fully submerged in water, but it can also happily tolerate powerful hot jets of liquid right in its face.
So this is something that I can see happening going forward this entire year. A lot of phones are gonna have that new waterproofing. One thing I will say is this is not a budget phone, so they are on the cheaper end, like sub £300, UK sterling budget phones. This is more on the £1,000, so this does cost more than Pixel phones. This is in the ballpark. It's still cheaper than a Samsung S25 Ultra, but it's not in the cheap realm. That's why it has a lot of premium features. So for me, this isn't a low end device. I have to compare it more to the higher end devices, and so far, I love it. Like I can't beat it right now.
Base, a trick that it happened
To be fair, I think the reason is because the year has just started. So I'm sure a lot of the flagships that will come out will all have these features already. But because this came out end of last year, early this year, it's something that puts it already in the running for being a recommendation for the entire year.
to pick up from your mum. So the Find X8 Pro looks rather lovely, and the software that's running on it is even lovelier. Good bit of ColorOS 15 action based on Android 15. Complete with 5 OS updates, you're covered all the way up to Android 20 and 6 years of security patching on top. Now, ColorOS is of course remarkably similar to Oxygen OS, which I recently covered in a full dedicated review. So you'll notice that yes, you've once again got these separate notifications and control center panels. Swipe down the right hand.
That sounds a lot like Apple. I'm saying it. Smells Apple-y.
Side for the control center and the left hand side for those notifications. If you're not a fan of this setup though, you can change it back to the classic system where they're both combined. You do now have an Apple style floating turd jobby which pops up at the top of the screen when you're playing a bit of media or whatever. Can give that a tap to bring up a media card. You can then use to skip tracks, etc, etc. But unlike the iPhone, if you're not a fan, you can just flick it away like so. You've also got the Flux themes, which are pretty cool, even if they do seem to take inspiration from Samsung's recent handsets. And hey, if you happen to be playing the AI game where you smash back a shot every time some gormless YouTube tech twat bangs on about artificial intelligence, well, prepare to lose your bloody mind.
So AI has been the biggest new feature to devices. A lot of the Samsung laptops will come out and have been coming out with AI enabled chips in them, which means that they're designed to run with AI physically on the device. And when it comes to tablets and phones, that is gonna be the biggest selling point. I know Apple failed when it came to market. Okay, they succeeded in marketing the AI features of the iPhone 16, but they haven't fully realized that by creating it for every single person to use yet. Samsung gives you all the AI features the second you get the phone. So I feel like a lot of these phones this year will have these features.
And you do of course have Google's Gemini assistant built in here, as you'd expect, and a good bit of circle to search naturally. And of course, don't forget the AI photo editor shenanigans. Pretty handy if your pic gets ruined by bloody seagulls and random blokes. Can enhance the clarity, slightly unblur shaky shots, and of course get rid of annoying stuff. Let's see if we can fully obliterate this chip stealing bastard as well. Pretty close, still got a little shonky bit there. Let's try and ditch that too. And there you have it, quite the improvement. Now you've also got to admire Oppo's AI summary and AI speak features, which actually work across multiple web browsers, including Google Chrome. This can magically summarize an article or a review or anything you can't be bothered to actually read yourself online. Just give you the general gist of what's involved.
Okay, that is impressive. That is very impressive. Copilot can do that. ChatGPT can do that. So a lot of free online applications can do that. You can download Gemini for free on your Android device today. So a lot of these features, yes, they're already built into the device, but you can on any device just download them. They're not special. The only difference is that you have to go in the apps, whereas this, they are built into the phone, so you can use them in the browsers a little bit different. But still, I'm impressed. Anyway, let's end this here. Should you guys buy the Oppo Find X8 Pro in 2025? If I'm being transparent, guys, yes. Let me tell you why. Let me first go back to one of the first pictures that we have of the device. So basically, this device does not have any areas where I would be concerned about. It has good battery life. It has a good display. It has fast charging. Yes, it might not have wireless charging, but it's good. Yes, it might have the Hasselblad branding. It won't have the best camera. It will not. I know that for a fact. There's better cameras out there. The reason I say that is that Oppo/OnePlus, the cameras have been notoriously not the best when it comes to low light photography. Ask me how I know. I have OnePlus phones, and when it gets dark, they just don't know what to do. They struggle to focus. They struggle to find the right ISO to put. So they overexpose, underexpose. They struggle to zoom in and zoom out properly. It is a terrible experience on these devices. I feel like with the Find X8 Pro, they might have improved those features, but I know that there's slightly better phones out there that will do a better job with photography, even though this does have a Hasselblad logo on the back of it. These devices historically have had really excellent front cameras. Don't know why. Sometimes I find them better than like the Pixel and the OnePlus and the Apple iPhone cameras. This is personal opinion. But anyway, should you buy this? If you got a grand to spare, yes. If you have extra money, I would say obviously go for the S25 Ultra. But for the price you're getting, I found some of these for like £800 right now. That's a no-brainer for £800. Yes, it is a little bit on the higher end, and yes, you can get slightly cheaper devices, but this has a lot of the features that we will be getting in newer flagship phones. This is a flagship killer. I'm only saying that because this is a mid-range phone with high-end parts, components, features, and functionality. That's why I'm saying this is potentially the flagship killer of 2025. Thanks for watching, guys. Like, comment, subscribe, and peace.